Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury, and today I am sailing on Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas, and let's do a little ship tour. I might do this in pieces. You may see costume changes because I'm going to go to areas where it's not very crowded. So if I find that an area is too crowded, I'll come back at another time. So if you see any costume changes, I might have filmed this over several days, but I want to show you this ship because there is so much going on here. So I'm starting at the bottom and working my way up. I'm starting on deck 4, even though on deck 3 there is the main dining hall, but that is the only thing there, so I will point that out. But other than that, we're starting on deck 4. So I am starting deck 4 at the front of the ship, which is where we find the Royal Theatre. And this is where they have the Broadway style production, which I saw the other day, which was Hairspray. We have our elevator banks over here, and I must say, I love the art in the elevator banks. Also, the art all over the ship, like a big melted Tootsie Pop, because why not? Why not? One thing that's nice on this ship is they do have a smoke-free casino. So over here, this is Casino Royale non-smoking, so it is much smaller, but it is the non-smoking casino. Even though it's early in the morning, people are already playing some games in there. But we do have a smoke-free casino. Then if you exit the casino and turn left, this over here is the Crown Lounge. So this is for diamond level and above. And across from Crown Lounge is the attic. Now the attic is primarily a comedy club venue, but they do have other activities that go on at the attic as well. And then we have Studio B, which is the ice skating rink. So in addition to the ice show, they do have ice time where you can skate also. And they do have other parties there as well. Then both to the left and to the right are like art gallery aisles, and they both lead to the main casino. So let's go right. We have all the art on the walls, and they do have the art auctions on board. My philosophy on the art auctions is it's a look but don't touch thing. If you want your beverage, you want some place to sit, but that's just my personal opinion on that. And at the end of that hallway is the main casino. And then when you emerge out of the other end of the casino, this is the main dining room. And as I mentioned on deck 3, so if we look down there, deck 3 is also main dining room. And today they are having a brunch in the main dining room. So, if you want breakfast or lunch, we have brunch. And these are the options that they have for brunch. Also, Windjammer, Solarium Bistro, those are all open for us also. Okay, let's head up a deck. So here we are at deck 5. And one thing about deck 5 is if you want to go outdoors, you do have outdoor access on deck 5. So you can see deck 5 has a walking track. And you can see the ocean. So the walking track does loop around the whole deck, so you can use that if you don't want to go to the fitness center. There is also a level of the main dining room on deck 5 as well. And then if we head around this way, we get to the Royal Promenade. Now this is where all of the shops and some of the entertainment venues are. So they have a shore excursions kiosk over here. So if you want to book some shore excursions and you didn't do so on your app, you can do it here. We have the Regalia Watch Shop. So over here next to guest services. In the middle area, this is really cool. This is Rising Tide Bar, and this goes up and down. So this it almost looks like a little boat, right? On these tracks, it goes up to Central Park and back down. So you can have a drink, go up to Central Park, and it has departure times too. So if you go over on the wall near the entrance, it has posted departure times for when it elevates and lowers. So you can see the next departure time is 3:30 p.m. We also have the Bionic Bar, and this is a bar staffed by robots. Let me show you. So the Bionic Bar, you have some seating here. It's not open right now, so the robots are not shaken, but these armatures will use the beverages up top and make drinks for you. So if you saw my Alaska cruise video, I have video of them in action, so you can see the robots doing their thing there. So next to the Bionic Bar is the collection, which is where a lot of the designer handbags can be found, when the shop is open, of course. We also have interesting sculptures, like a sphere of a VW bug. Yep, that's what this is. It's a VW bug made into a sphere. And that sits right outside the Cafe Promenade, which is sort of like a quick serve, like sandwiches and snacks kind of place. Next to the Cafe Promenade is the shop, which is where all the Royal Caribbean branded merchandise can be found. And across from that is Next Cruise, where it's in the title, you can book your next cruise. Then we have Sorrento's Pizza, which is a complimentary pizza place on board. Across the way is the Copper and Kettle, which is the pub. And then Port Merchants, which is the duty free. Also in the center, they have these kiosks where when we are at sea, they will have different specials going on. So I'm sure later today, these will be a hop-in area. We also have Solarium, which is the beauty and fragrance store. And directly across is the Regalia jewelry store. And again, everything is still closed. It's still early. But this is the jewelry shop, is right across. You could see some of their shinies in the window. Then we have this giant sculpture in the middle. It's pretty nifty if you ask me, and these lights in it change color throughout the day, so it sort of comes alive in a way. Then over here, that is On Air. It is the karaoke bar, but they also host a lot of different activities. They've had trivia in there. They've had a lot of stuff going on. And then to this side is Borello's, which is the Latin club. And in case you need your caffeinated beverage fix that you are so familiar with on land, it's available on sea. Then at this end, we do have the stairs that can bring us back down to that giant Tootsie Roll Pop. That's where we started. Then at this end, just past the elevator banks, is the second level of the Royal Theatre. So usually I would just go back and forth and up and down, but if I go up from over here, I'm not gonna get anywhere. I gotta go back to the other side of the ship to show you the next part. So then back at the other end of the ship, on deck 6, this is over here, the Schooner Bar. And then across the way is the Focus Picture Gallery. So if you take the professional portraits on board, you can get them over there. This way, through the elevator banks, is the way to the Boardwalk. So the Boardwalk is one of these outdoor neighborhoods on the cruise ship. So the Boardwalk has a very amusement park forward type of a theming to it. And it starts out with like sort of these sculptures of how they create carousel horses. You can see there's like different sections, and then it becomes a horse. And then you have a paint palette because they're painting the horse. And then you have a finished horse, and then a carousel. And the carousel does have hours of operation, so you can go for a ride on the carousel. There are rooms that do overlook this area. So if you do have a balcony view on the Boardwalk, this is the area you're overlooking. But this area does get a little bit loud because you do have Playbakers, which is the sports bar. You have the carousel. You have the dog house over here, which is hot dogs. And you have Sugar Beach, which is candy. And we'll keep going. So there's a lot of great stuff in this area, and it is very family forward on the Boardwalk. We also have a Johnny Rockets over here. And then in the center, you'll notice these two big purple things. These are the Ultimate Abyss dry slides. And I specify dry slides because there are water slides on board too. But these, you go into like a little kind of sack, like a potato sack, and you get to slide down from, I think, deck 15 or 16, all the way up there, and then you slide down round and round and round, and you come out here. I did this when I was on Oasis of the Seas, and it almost became like a mode of transportation. It was great. Depending how my back feels, I may or may not be able to get on those. Right now I'm thinking no. Then behind the Ultimate Abyss slide, you have the rock wall. There's one on this side, and there's also another one behind me up there. But you have the rock wall, and then over here you have the amphitheater. So this is where the aqua show is gonna be, that blue area, the stage. That opens up, that's actually a pool, and they have a high diver acrobatic show that goes on here. So I can't wait to see that later in the cruise. They also use this area for other types of entertainment. There was supposed to be like the High Seas Quartet was supposed to play here, but because of the weather yesterday, they rescheduled it for today in a different venue. They also play movies on the screens here, so they do use this for different things as well, but its main purpose is the aqua show. So I'm heading out of the Boardwalk area, but they do have a Zoltar machine, but I saw the movie Big. I know better. I sometimes wonder at what point is that going to become like a deep cut? Like, am I going to just truly date myself and like age myself by saying like a reference from the movie Big? If you haven't seen it, Tom Hanks movie, 1980s, kid wishes to be big and he becomes an adult. It's an absolute classic, but the Zoltar machine is what did it. So we are going to skip deck 7 because that is just staterooms, and we are going to go up to deck 8. Okay, so I'm over here on deck 8, and we're going to check out what's over here, starting with Central Park. So Central Park is open air green space on board the ship. So you can see they have this little engraved or carved kind of map of Central Park. And it's this great area out here. There are also staterooms that do overlook Central Park. But this is just a lovely, relaxing space. We have this deer sculpture and lots of lush plants. So there are a few venues over here as well. We have Vintages over here on the left, which is the wine bar. There's also Jamie's Italian that we'll walk by. You'll see just a great space. So Jamie's Italian, which is one of the specialty dining restaurants, is over here in Central Park. We also have Park Cafe, and this is more of a grab-and-go quick serve. They have sandwiches, they have a build-your-own salad station, and other quick like soup and fruit and things like that. Just some basics, but it's a great place for lunch if you want something easy. There are also a few of the high-end shops here. I always like mispronounce this, Bulgari, I think that's how you say it. And then we have like the watches, we have Cartier. So they do have a few shops tucked away in Central Park as well. I am admittedly terrible with pronunciation of things that I haven't heard spoken out loud. So especially with like designer brands, I feel like I really botch how they're supposed to be pronounced. Like, so for better or for worse, you ever see that movie Showgirls and she's always mispronouncing Versace and keeps calling it Versace and nobody corrects her? I feel like that's me with so many designer brands. I just probably horribly mispronounce it and nobody ever corrects me. So if that is me, I apologize. I'm not meaning to do it, just I'm not familiar, and I haven't heard them spoken out loud a lot of the time. Like the shoes with the red bottoms, for the longest time I thought people were mispronouncing Louis Vuitton, and I still don't know the correct way to pronounce the designer who does the shoes with the red bottoms. It's not all into that designer stuff, so I get confused, and I apologize for my confusion, and I just appreciate the aesthetic, and I'll put it like that. Anyway, back to Central Park. The other thing is, because there is a lot of vegetation, I do see a lot of families trying to hide ducks in the vegetation, but please do not hide ducks in the vegetation because it can really damage it. So this is not duck hiding territory. Then also in Central Park is the Trellis Bar, so you can get a couple of drinks here. Or if you keep going and the timing is right, this like glass enclosure on the sides has doors because from time to time, this is the Rising Tide Bar. And you could see through the glass, it's currently on the Royal Promenade down on deck 5, but it will elevate and come up here, and you can board from up here as well. So if you remember when we were on deck 5, we saw it down there. It goes up and down between Central Park and the Royal Promenade. And if you want to know when the next departure is, there's always a sign posted, and it says the next departure is at 4 p.m. That's the next time it will be up here. There's also another specialty restaurant here, 150 Central Park. And if you want to see what the menu looks like, they have it posted here, so let's take a look. So it looks like they have appetizers, like a beet salad. They have a pumpkin bisque. Ooh, honey glazed scallops. Then for entrees, they have a seared halibut, veal medallions, cauliflower steak for the veggies. Let's see, they have a lamb Wellington. Look at this. And then for dessert, they have an artisanal cheese selection, fried cheesecake, peanut butter chocolate tart, or a hazel passion fruit bar. Oh, that all sounds so tasty. That all sounds really good. So specialty dining is an additional fee, but you can get dining packages that include multiple different specialty restaurants. So there are options out there. And speaking of specialty dining, you can also find Chops Grill in Central Park as well. So this is another specialty dining location. So we got 3 specialty dining locations in the Central Park area. And like I said, it's also just great atmosphere to just sit out here and enjoy it. It's an alternate place to sit and get some sun, get some fresh air without having to be all the way up on the top deck. So something else on deck 8 is Dazzles. Looks like the venue might be closed right now, but this is another venue on board, and it's got some great seating. It's 2 levels. They have different shows. They had live jazz. They did a Q&A with some of the performers in here. It's been a very nice venue. I've enjoyed spending time in here. Like I mentioned, it is two decks high, that venue, so I'm going up to deck 9 because we're at the end of deck 8 anyway, and we'll just take a peek and see if the upstairs happens to be open. No such luck, but this is the entrance to Dazzles on the 9th floor. It's also the only thing besides staterooms on the 9th floor, so we're going to continue going up. We're going to skip 10 and 11, and then we'll stop by 12. So as we're climbing up to deck 12, I do want to mention how much I appreciate and enjoy the art that they have in the stairwells. Oh, look, I found Mario. Look at this. This is such great art. We have Mario. There is so much art all over the ship, whether it's in the stairwells, whether it's sculptures on the promenade, just all over. Okay, now we have Wonderland on deck 12. This is again another specialty dining restaurant, and this one again has an extra fee because it is specialty dining, but it's also very unique. So they call it imaginative cuisine, and they have these different categories: sun, ice, fire, earth, sea. And then, like, instead of a regular salad, look, they have baby vegetables in the garden, soil and pebbles. And they set it up to literally look like vegetables in a garden as opposed to just a salad. So it's like very reimagined type of food. So I've never tried Wonderland, so I can't speak from experience, but my understanding from people who have tried it, you either love it or hate it. It's like, it's not typical fare, and if you sort of like what you like and you're not willing to step out your comfort zone of food, it might not be for you. But if you are willing to try new things and try deconstructed or imaginative cuisine, they do have this option on board. So on deck 14, there's really just the kid stuff, the Adventure Ocean, and all of the kids' activity locations are here, but they got kids. So I'm not gonna go and show you those, but I'm gonna keep going up to deck 15. So here we are, deck 15. And you can see that there's a hot tub right over here. But I'm gonna turn left and we're gonna go into the Solarium first. Now this is the adult only area. So there is also a lower level to the Solarium that you can access from deck 14, but it's sort of like tucked away by the staterooms. There is also the Solarium Bistro is over here, which is a buffet style restaurant. It is complimentary. And you could see this is the lower level I'm looking down on. And like I said, you could access this from deck 14, but there's also a stairwell over here as well. There are also 2 hot tubs. This one is closed at the moment. One thing I really love is the sculptural artwork over the bar in the solarium. I think it's really pretty. Then these are the stairs that'll bring you into the pool, but also there's a stairwell right over here that will bring you to the lower level. So this is the pool. You can see it has like a bench in it, so you could just relax. And then this is the other hot tub. One thing that is worth mentioning is that it's not enclosed. This is not an indoor space, even though you could see there's covering. There are gaps in that. It's open to the elements, so when it's cold out, it's cold in. This is not like self-enclosed. I know on some ships, it does fully enclose and it's indoors. On this ship, the solarium is open to the elements. And we're coming around to the other side. And we're also at the front of the ship. So now we're making our way back the other way. And you'll see right through these doors is another hot tub. These doors lead to the elevators that I came out of. It's just you have 2 sides you can go through. We're gonna go and check out the pools. So on Symphony of the Seas, we have 3 different water slides. We have these twisty-turny yellow and blue slides on this side. And then on the other side, we have that yellow and green slide. And it has like a basin that you kind of like swoosh around in. And then you come out at the bottom. So you have 3 slides. The access to all of the slides are the staircase right over here. So you could see underneath these twisty-turny slides, this gate, when the slides are open, that is the access to the slides. The other thing, this area is overlooking Central Park. So when we were on deck 8, that was Central Park, and that was where we were, and we have a view of that from the pool area. So we do have a hot tub over here on both sides. So there's one hot tub right here, and then over there, there's another hot tub, kind of framing this pool over here. And then the other side also has a pool. So 2 swimming pools in this area, and then there's also 2 hot tubs on that side as well. So in this area, a total of 4 hot tubs, 2 pools. Even though that sounds like a lot of options and it doesn't look very busy right now, I'm up here at 10 o'clock at night, so it's not too busy and the pools are closed. But during the day, this place is popular. Then as we keep going, I'm kind of walking on this side because along the windows is the smoking section and there are people over there right now. But I just want to show you that there is another swimming pool here, another hot tub here, and then we can come around onto this side. Say hello to the fun sculpture as we go. These fun sculptures are all over the ship. I love it. And then on this side, again, another hot tub, right? So many hot tubs. But we also have this splash away area for the littles. So they have a littles sized water slide. There's actually another one on the other side too. And then during the day, all of these different water features are splashing and spraying and dumping water, and it really comes alive during the day. And the kids look like they love it. They look like they love it. So I'm continuing along on the outside of deck 15. There are doors to the elevators on this side of the ship, but there's more on the outside over here. We have one of the ice cream stations. And then as we get back here, this is El Loco Fresh, which is like a quick serve Mexican dining, and it's complimentary, it's included. And during the day, it's usually open for lunch, and they have quesadillas, burritos, and tacos. And you could see there's a whole bunch of seating here for El Loco Fresh as well. Then over here is the sports court, and they do have organized events, and they do have sort of like at your own pace, you know, like you could like play pickleball at your own pace. Or if you want to play organized, they're gonna have like volleyball tomorrow. So they do have different sporting activities over here. I feel like on this cruise I do need to say weather permitting. It's the weather's been causing lots and lots of schedule changes lately. And as we go over here, you'll notice this little area during the day when the zip lining is open. This is the area where the zip liners launch from, and they go whee across that cord to the other corner over there. And you'll notice it goes diagonally across the boardwalk area. So that is down there on deck 6. And they zip line up here on deck 15. That is really high. That's not for me. You will not see me zip lining. No, not for this Mercury. Okay, then I went up these little stairs over here, and you'll see over here we have a flow rider. Again, not on, I'm up here at 10 o'clock at night, but this is one of 2 flow riders. This is where you sign up, and then this is the ultimate abyss. So this is the dry slide. So you go here and they give you like a glorified potato sack and you go down the slide. So I did this when I was on Oasis of the Seas and I loved it. My back's been not so great this trip, so I haven't gone down it because I don't think I could tolerate it right now. But I had so much fun on Oasis going down it, and it's the same slide. You go into this like little sack, you put your feet in, and it's just so you don't stick or get stuck on the way down. And you know, and it's like just your feet. You sit on it's like sitting on a blanket that your feet get tucked into. Yeah, that's all it is. And then you go, and it's like loop-de-loop down, and it lets you out on the boardwalk. So it's a slide that's twisty-turny, not steep drops, just very twisty-turny, and it brings you from deck 15 down to deck 6. Then over here is the second flow rider. And the nice thing with the Oasis class ships having 2 flow riders is they could do the boogie board style and the stand-up style simultaneously because they have the option of having 2. Okay, then I went down the little steps over there, and this brings us out into the little mini golf course. I think they call it the Oasis Dunes. It's 9 holes of mini golf. It's a lot of fun. There's no cost to play. The clubs and the balls are right at the beginning of the trail. And you just pick up and play. And then this corridor is connecting us back over by the swimming pools. So I did pop inside over here by the elevators on the aft part of the ship because I did want to show you something that's over here. So over here, this is the side of the ship with El Loco Fresh. And they have this little area with like vending machines for sundries. So if you're upstairs and not downstairs and you want to use one of these vending machines and you need some toothpaste or nasal spray or sunblock or what's in this one? Or baseball cards. I don't know, that doesn't really match. Or if you need to charge your phone, there are these charging stations. There's also an arcade right over here by the vending machines, but chock full of teenagers, 10 o'clock at night. They're having fun. I'm not gonna go bother them. And on deck 16, this is where you find the Windjammer. So the Windjammer is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner most days, and they have a wide variety of foods to choose from. On this ship, it is split in half. There are basically 2 mirror images of the restaurant. There's an aft side and a port side. Obviously, they're both closed right now. I was planning to go out these doors and show you deck 16, but the doors are closed. So I'm gonna see if I can go around. I do find this fun. The staircase that goes down from the Windjammer is like a keyboard. And when you step on it, it lights up. Let me see if I could make it light up because I went down the wrong side. Yep, there we go. And it plays tones. You see? It's the little things, like a keyboard staircase. So deck 16 is going to be pretty windy. This is the upper sun deck that goes above the pool area. So once I step outside of Windjammer right here, this is deck 16. And we'll just do a quick walk around, but I'm probably going to put some music down because it is super windy. So that is deck 16. It's a short sort of like walkabout. There's a bunch of loungers, so you can, if you don't want to be right by the pool, but you still want the pool vibes, you could find a lounger up on deck 16 if there's any available. So it's pretty windy. Let me go inside and we'll wrap this up. The only other thing is what I don't have access to, which is the suite deck, coastal kitchen, suite lounge. All of this stuff is for suite guests on deck 17. The only other thing that's up here on deck 16 is Hooked Seafood, and that is another one of these specialty dining restaurants. So that was my ship tour of Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas. I hope you found this helpful, helped you get a lay of the land. We went from top to bottom and we found our way all over the ship. We saw all the different venues, we saw some of the lounges, different activities that are available on board. So much to see and do here. So with that, I am done. I will see you all real soon. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care. So bonus footage, y'all. So remember when I was on the boardwalk and I saw the Zoltar machine and I made the reference to Big? It's on TV. There's like 2 channels when you're on a cruise ship. You don't get much. But Big is on TV right now. Awesome. Awesome. I just wanted to share that. Okay, bye.